Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the T&T Podcast. As always, it's your boy Tyler Layfield, joined by my co-host Torrez. Finney, how's it going, Torrez?
What's up, Tyler? I'm happy to be here, man. Happy to be right back on the show again. I know I missed out to doing a little training, but I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, man. So let's hop right into it. Let's get into the action, and that first little bit of news being your next shot at the UFC. It's been a little minute since we've had you on the show, but we really haven't been able to go over, your next chance here to fight in front of Dana White Contender Series for the third time. So tell us a little bit about how that came into play and what you're looking forward to in this upcoming matchup.
Well, I've been out doing a lot of interviews based on that actually, but it was a great opportunity. Basically, it was getting a call from my management team that called me about the opportunity, and I was on the verge of signing a contract to another promotion, and it was literally like a day or two away. So we were about to make that announcement. But blessed to have the opportunity once again. We sat down with my team. Family wasn't too happy. They did not like this. They did not want me to do
Wow.
this again. But I'm definitely excited for the opportunity, mainly for me because I thought of history, one, and then two is like who's going to have an opportunity to be able to say they can do this a third time on the show, and not only do it but have 3 wins on the show. So regardless of what happens, I'm happy for the opportunity at history. This is already definitely making my name mainstream in a lot of ways, but we don't. I don't worry about that. I worry about the win. So that's the main thing. Yeah, I'm happy for the opportunity though. Go for it.
Yeah, and we'll probably go into a further breakdown into this. We'll go into a little bit more detailed breakdown on the last show that you do before you go to go to this fight. So we'll save that for another time. But we'll dive into the opponent and things of that nature. Tell us a little bit about this past weekend, though. I know I wasn't able to tune in. I know my dad he updated me on how things went with Trevor. But what was your experience like in Vegas this past weekend? And how's Trevor taking everything and things of that nature?
Training went really good, man. A lot of good big time training. Obviously, amongst the going with a lot of guys. Obviously, we trained at String Couture with Strickland and Michelle Pereira and all those boys down there. My boy Reese Watkins, big shout out to him. And also, yeah, man, it was great to be alone with Trevor once again for fight week. Sadly, we did not get the victory. He just got out wrestled, man. The guy got grappled. I think.
Yeah, that's what I
You know,
heard.
it was a tough little cookie, man. He took some shots from Trevor, and he got power on his side as well. But
Yeah.
once he shot those takedowns in, he was able to take Trevor down. Not really control Trevor on the mat too much. Trevor was really good at getting back to his feet. But he will hold him tight to the cage. To be honest, very similar to my fight a little bit against Cam. Because Ganal had 9 takedowns and I think 8 or 9 minutes of control against Trevor.
Wow.
So it was a very similar performance. And, Yanal did what he had to do to get the win. And he did exchange with Trevor a little bit here and there. And, just was a tough little kick. It wasn't nothing really too surprising. It just, my boy Trevor got working on that grappling portion. Um, we just got to keep working on that area. But, props to did some really good things. It was just a tough fight. Just a tough fight.
Yeah. It's a good thing that he's got you as a teammate because I feel like if anybody can kind of help him out in that area, I feel like it's definitely you. So
That's
yeah,
the
and then go ahead.
I was saying that's the thing. It's like
Yeah.
I don't see him as much because he's in Denver. I do go to Denver for my training camp, but I don't see him as much. It's hard for me to like get sometimes the type of work I want to get in with him, but it's hard, man. Especially, and I've told people this a lot. Throughout, even when I'm fighting my opponents, you never wrestled really growing up. It's gonna always be hard to learn. It's gonna always be hard. Jiu-jitsu is a different story. Jiu-jitsu is a thing you can like eventually counteract. Now, wrestling on the part is you can get better defensively, which is that's a little bit more of an area you can like close in a little bit quicker. But the just pure offensive, and actually Trevor wrestling has gotten a lot better. It really has.
Mm-hmm.
when you go against guys that just been doing it for so long, similar to me,
Yeah.
it's a hard style to beat.
Yeah, I was sitting here trying to look back on your Twitter, but I think it was on your Snapchat that you posted it. The guy Moose,
Moose.
the guy you were posted. Some guy like a moose,
Oh,
like is.
baby moose. Yeah, that's Reese. That's Reese. Yeah.
Okay, Reese, tell me a little bit about him because I know you were posting him. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, no,
Baby,
Goose, not Moose, Goose. My bad. Yeah, Goose, baby Goose. Tell me a bit about him. What's this guy's story?
so Reese is actually from Atlanta. Reese is
Uh
5
huh.
currently as a pro. He's working his way up as well, young guy. Reese is phenomenal talent. He helped me out a lot for this guy upcoming Abdullah Irami that I'm about to fight because his style is a little bit similar. So really good help from Reese. Reese is a special talent. I've actually trained Reese here in Atlanta a little bit when he was living here. Now he lives in Vegas. The boys are really special talent. Great stuff. We work with each other not only in sparring and drills, but we also did like live grappling with each other. So it was really good to have him as a teammate, and he is a special talent. So I'm excited to see his growth while he's going to be there in Vegas, living there full time. So yeah, Baby Goose is definitely on the rise, man. Y'all better watch out. He's going to be a special talent.
I like the name. The name cracks me up. That's pretty good. All right, so let's swing this to week one in the NFL. And I know you got a lot to say, man, because I tuned into that game. I know you were tuning into that game. I had some fantasy action going on with it. I had Bijan Robinson, and I wasn't too disappointed in my production I got from him. The dude got a ton of work. He got a lot of carries. It was targeted in the passing game. But, man, that defense, Torrez, that Steelers defense is still legit. And TJ Watt is still that dude, man. Tell me what you think about it, bro. Let me hear your thoughts from a Steelers fan.
Well, I'm just straight up saying, I still think we got the best defense, dude. Hey, look,
It's crazy.
after watching, so if anybody remember the Steelers, about 2000, I want to say 15, 16, 17, 18. All right,
Mm-hmm.
I remember that year we used to have Big Ben, Montavious Bryant, Le'Veon Bell, AB. I mean, we just had weapons,
Stacked.
weapons. All right,
Yes.
now we ain't got that offense. But my gosh, look at our defense. It's like we
It's
are seeing
crazy.
a complete turnaround. But we didn't have a great defense at that time. We had a defense that was marginal. It would be smart. It would be able to handle things. But now,
Mm-hmm.
we got a defense that, dude, dude, like we can have the worst offensive game in the history of football, and we still got a chance in the final 2 minutes. That's crazy. And
For real.
um, I was actually, some people might get at me because I actually was talking in our group message. It was funny. I said maybe I was too harsh on Arkansas, and Keegan and Leslie was on the away on the opposite side. But I'm telling y'all, Arthur Smith actually called a solid game. What
Yeah.
hurt us
He
was
wasn't awful with it.
it wasn't. It was just awful penalties at the wrong time. It was still our.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily so much of the play call. Now, one play call I was pissed about. I hated the 4th and 1 in their territory. Like we literally
Yeah.
got the game in bag. It is literally about over with. We fumbled the ball at. Well, we didn't fumble the ball. We didn't get close to the first down. So, wish we would have done something different. But overall, Pittsburgh looked good. Pittsburgh, they did their thing. I was really excited to see how our offense was going to look a little bit. Justin Fields had 14 carries for 57 yards. Obviously, Najee had 20 for 70 yards. We used Cordell Patterson. We got Jalen Warren. Hey, we got some, solid weapons ourselves.
Yeah, and you didn't even use Jalen Warren a ton,
We
honestly.
didn't. We didn't. We got George Pickens. We got Pat Freiermuth. So we got some stuff that we have to continue to work on. I feel like we definitely didn't utilize. We didn't have the best overall receiving core, but I think we're just gonna have an offense that's good enough and it allows a guy like Fields to settle in. You got to remember, Fields, he didn't really know he was gonna be starting. So we finally
Yeah.
got an offense that's gonna allow our team to finally settle down and be the team that they can possibly be. I think we're going to see a much better performance from Field in week 2. Now, to them Atlanta Falcons. Lord,
Yeah.
have mercy. Ooh. Hey, look, I told folks, everybody kept saying, "Oh, Falcons gonna beat the Steelers." I said, bro, we don't lose to the Falcons most time we play them. We actually haven't lost to the Falcons since 2004, and the Steelers' overall record against the Falcons is 16-2 in history. We ain't losing to no Falcons. Well, 16-2-1. I knew, bro. Kirk Cousins, bro. I don't know. Now I say
It's
this.
he didn't look good, man. He didn't look it is his first game off the Achilles, so we got to keep that in mind, but it did not look pretty. Drake London wasn't involved at all. Kyle Pitts actually made a catch. He was able to get some other people involved a little bit, but it was ugly offense.
It was ugly, man. It was
Yeah.
really.
And do you credit that more toward your Steelers defense, or do you think that's just the Falcons were just that bad?
Uh, Hard to tell, but
Uh-huh.
consider, as we all talked about, maybe it was just on paper. Maybe it was just a paper thing. But how many people talked about how good the Falcons would be offensively because of their weapons? I heard so much about that all year long. I was even a fan of it. I was like, yeah, the Falcons got great weapons this year. It should be a lot better. Well, that defense turned out for the Steelers. So, I mean, the pressure, the offensive line was not good. Whoever that right tackle was, one-on-one with T.J. Watt, I feel bad for you, fellas. I feel bad for you.
Yeah, he was getting his tail tore up.
He got whooped the whole game. I mean, it wouldn't even. And the thing is, it could have been even worse if it weren't for those stupid penalties that he took away from him. The interception, no, what was it? The 2 fumbles. It screwed us on both of them, the 2 strip sacks. So, Kirk Cousins didn't play the best game. I don't think he's going to be doing this much longer. But if people expected this to be the year for the Falcons to take over and win the division, because if there's any year you should be able to win this division, I think it would be this year. But heck, after looking at how the Saints played and how Tampa Bay played, I don't know.
Yeah.
The
man. Saints, now hold on. Saints, I'm not jumping too crazy on that yet. They played the Panthers, man. Panthers, and I don't know if you saw that, dude. I feel like I might have to eat my crow. All that stuff that I talked about Bryce Young.
You did think Bryce Young would be better than Tua.
I think I'm wrong. And it looked really, really ugly. To be honest with you, I think he might look worse than Kirk Cousins. It really is that bad. Did you watch? I mean, he was throwing bad picks. It was ugly. That whole team just looks awful. And then they just lost one of their defensive linemen for the season. Derek Brown came from Auburn. Yeah, so the Panthers are looking awful. Saints played them. I mean, I think they just got a lucky draw playing them at the beginning. Tampa Bay, though, you might just be right. The Falcons, it's going to take a major bounce back if they're going to get right. But it's between them and the Buccaneers, in my opinion, now.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you, bro. I just don't see how the Falcons going to be able to really do too much bounce back. Because the thing is, if you're going to start the season off, reason why I say that, you got next week, Monday night, the Eagles. Then the week after that, you got the Chiefs. Then the week after that, you got the Saints. Not a too good look to call for early in the season.
I think they could beat the Saints. I'll bet on that much. Eagles, we'll have to see. I'm not feeling great about the Chiefs. Not feeling good about the Chiefs at all. So, how about your division? How about the Steelers division? I know the Bengals looked awful.
Bengals did.
They looked very, very bad going against the Patriots. Without Bill Belichick now, not even starting Drake May, their first round pick. They're still going with Brissett, and I know they were down Higgins. I know Chase was just coming in here and there, but that was not pretty either. That was a very ugly offense that they strutted out there. So, who else is in the division again that you guys are battling with that made some way? I think the Ravens barely lost, right?
Yep, that great game.
That was a great game.
That was a great game. Watched that when I was in the casino in Vegas.
And the Browns, right? And the other team
did not look good at all. The Bulls looked good. Deshaun Watson did not look good.
No.
You know what's crazy though? We
What?
say this about the Bengals, but next week the Bengals probably gonna play one of the best games of the
I
season
know. I know.
against.
Yeah.
They just played good against the Chiefs, so we might we might be eating the crow. But then again, there's a chance the Bengals start out 0-2. They did not
Yeah.
look good. They did not look good. But
No.
props to New England because Gerard Mayo had that defense on point. Those boys played a great game overall defensively. And they took advantage of many opportunities. Some of them was Bengals' fault, like guy running towards the end zone and he's over here trying to extend the ball and he gets punched out. Like there was some stupid plays in the Bengals part, but props to Gerard Mayo getting his first head coach career victory.
Yeah. For sure. And then some other notable games. I kept up with some, but um, let me see here. I know last night I watched all of the 49ers Jets. 49ers looked great even without McCaffrey. Jordan Mason had a heck
That
of a
was
freaking game.
good, great a day. Man, what a game. Man, that was what I was like surprised. I
Yeah.
actually thought this would be so I said, I actually thought the Jets defense would be a little bit better. So, I was like, okay, I predicted like a lower scoring game.
Yeah.
Man, man. Like when the 49ers offense got rolling, it got rolling. But I am gonna say this.
What
Props
you got?
to Aaron Rodgers. That boy still can sling it. Now, yeah, he didn't have the best overall game yesterday, but that brother can still sling it. And he looked really good early on in the game. It fell off a little bit once that defense settled down, but
Yeah.
Rogers still got it. Now it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to be able to sustain it. The next few games, I mean, he got the Titans, New England. That's still be an interesting game, and then he got the Broncos. So they could at least be 3-1 or 2-2 early on these next 3 games. So they got a really good shot to see what their season gonna hold.
Yeah, another good game and that has some big implications was the Friday night game, the Packers and the Eagles. Reason I say big implications because Jordan Love ended up getting hurt at the end. He's going to be out a couple weeks at least, is what they're saying. Um, Good back and forth game. The offense is just going back and forth in that one, and it was a pretty interesting game. I think we learned some things. There were some explosive plays. Jaden Reed went off. I don't know if you have him in fantasy, but if you did, he helped you out a ton. He went crazy. AJ Brown had some big points in that game as well. Um, some other games that were pretty good. The Texans and Colts, the Bills and the Cardinals, that was good. And then the Bears coming back from being down on the Titans was pretty good. Did you catch any of those?
Uh, I did watch a little bit of the Bears and the Titans. Yes, I definitely would tune into the Eagles and the Packers for sure. Really, really good game. Really good game. Great to see um, guys like Jordan Love. Jordan Love looked pretty solid. Hurt still a little bit more of a turnover machine, but he picked
Yeah,
up a little bit here and there.
some bad interceptions.
Saquon Barkley. Wow. Great,
Yes,
great.
yes,
Saquon is a beast. 3 touchdowns.
yes.
I mean, he had 2 catches for 3 yards. He had 24 carries for 109 yards. So great game from Saquon Barkley. And the Titans, what a disappointment. Look, and you know what? I'm happy about it because I don't like the Titans. Being up here in Tennessee, you already know Titans fans are huge here. I don't like the Titans. And the Titans, I had got hit up by so many because I told them, I said, man, the Titans ain't gonna do much this season. Boy,
At
I told
halftime,
them,
they were hitting you up.
look how the Titans playing because they was up 17-0.
Yeah.
The real team, your Steelers struggling, blah, blah.
Oh
And
God.
boy, that second half was so funny because the Bears didn't score a single offensive touchdown, and they still lost. How you down 17-0 and don't score a single offensive touchdown, bro? Those boys came back, and it was block punt for a touchdown, pick six for a touchdown. I mean,
Crazy.
just things just kept adding up, and I'm sitting here like, wow, like what am I watching? But Titans definitely got some lot of things to work on, and I was not impressed at all by the Bears quarterback Caleb Williams
No. Yeah.
to continue to work on, but at least you won ugly, but then you're in the right direction. So we're gonna definitely continue to see more and more on this team. I don't know what they're gonna continue to keep doing overall to help fix that stuff because he does got DeAndre Swift, he got DJ Moore, he got
Keenan
Keenan
Allen's
Allen.
hurt right now, and so is Roma Dunze. They both got injured in that game. Yeah.
Out. Well, oh, it's gonna be
It's
hard.
thinning out. It's thinning out.
My gosh, they got the Texans on Sunday night. Tough game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Texans,
Well,
Colts, Rams. That's a tough next 3 games. That's a tough next
yeah.
3.
Yeah, speaking of the Rams, I also saw Puka Nakua. He's going to be out for some time, at least 4 weeks. It looks like they lost to the Lions. Lions just running the ball at will. Gibbs and Montgomery looked really good running the ball in that game. And then a little blast from the past. Jamison Williams from Alabama coming in for 5 catches, 121 yards, and a touchdown. So, yeah, Lions look dangerous. Like when you can win a game like that against a pretty good opponent like the Rams, and you don't even have to use your number one receiver. Like Amon-Ra St. Brown was 3 catches for 13 yards, and you still pull out the win. I don't know how often you can say something like that.
Well, their running game was also really efficient as well. You're talking about they did.
Not yet. Not yet, Colton.
One of my favorite things we're seeing was the Lions on how they were able to run the ball down their throat. The Lions was huge on the ground. David Montgomery, 17 carries for 91 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs, 11 carries for 40 yards. I mean, their running game was all over the place. Yes, Jameson Williams was the boy. Sam LaPorte, tight end, was really good. I got Jahmyr Gibbs on my fantasy team. Got me a lot of points from stuff he was doing. So it's going to be I'm excited to see what the Lions are able to do for the next season, for this upcoming season. You got to remember, they were up 24-0 at halftime in the NFC Championship. That's how close they were going to the Super Bowl. And if anybody remembers, last year opening season, they did beat the Chiefs on week 1. So they got a good team. We're going to see. They got Tampa Bay coming up. That's going to be a good game. Then the Cardinals, then the Seahawks. So they got some solid games coming up. And yeah, I'm excited to see what the Lions are able to do. Rams, still props to the Rams. They look good. Look, get week 1, tough game. But they still look really good. They got the Cardinals coming up, then they got the Niners, then they got the Bears. So they got some favorable games here and there. But I think the Rams gonna have a solid season. I think they're gonna have a solid season.
I think so too. So real quick before we get into the college football week 3 picks, let's do a little recap real quick of week 2. Just some quick hitters. I know that Texas. Hey. I'll eat my humble pie on that one as well. I went with Michigan. I just had a weird feeling about Michigan, man. And boy, was I ever wrong. Texas is legit. I'm a little bit more worried about that game as a Georgia fan now. Oklahoma State and Arkansas. Arkansas being up 17-0, I think at one point, or 21-0, and then dropping it like that. Crazy. Let's see here. Penn State. And still not taking care of business. They really had a tough time with Bowling Green. Kansas State Tulane was a back and forth affair. You got to talk about it, man. Northern Illinois coming in to South Bend and beating Notre Dame. Pretty big upset. I thought I was turning the corner with Notre Dame and Marcus Freeman. And right when I'm coming in, I get pulled right back out, man. I get pulled right back out. That they just yanked the rug right from underneath me. I thought Marcus Freeman, I'm kind of like Kobe. I had that same kind of belief in him, but I don't know, man. After this happens again, like I feel like this happens too often with Notre Dame. Like they drop these games that should not be happening. Like it should not even be close, man, and they're allowing it. Iowa State beating Iowa. That was a little bit of a shocker as well. I know you weren't on the show to pick these games, Torrez. I know you chimed in with a couple. Alabama and South Florida. It looked like South Florida. Like that was it ended up being 42-16, but that game was tight. Pretty much
It was.
Down to like 6-7 minutes left in the fourth. So I don't know how much you want to take away from that. Tennessee still looks good. They're looking scary.
Boy.
That
Boy.
Yeah, that 11-1 that 11-1 pick that I made. Now I may have been wrong on LSU. Now I'll hold my L on that one. But Tennessee, that 11-1 prediction I had, I think it might just come to fruition.
Hey,
They look legit.
them boys are good, bro. Like
That was
I know folks
legitness.
were joking so much about like, man, Alabama beat Tennessee. Oh no, dude. Really
Tennessee at home. I'm rolling with them, man. I'm rolling with them. It's right now to this day. I will take them against Bama at home.
And after seeing how Oklahoma just played against Houston, like look, I put in. We have a little group message. Everyone that's listening, that when we pick games based off the spread,
Yeah.
and I'm like, there's no way Oklahoma ain't gonna be able to rack up on Houston. Man, score 16-12. And there was a lot of teams like that. There was a lot of teams, and I said,
that one came down to the last little. Like there was a drive they could have had to go down and win it potentially, and
exactly.
it didn't happen. But still, it shouldn't have been that close.
I'm at this point now. A lot of these teams are faking who they really are. We about to see some.
Oregon looks like one of those too.
This week. It might not happen next week, but sooner or later, a lot of these teams about to fall off. We about to have an entire different top 10. It's about to be crazy.
What does the Notre Dame loss say about the win versus Texas A&M? Texas A&M that bad, or Notre Dame just choked versus NIU? I don't know. I feel like that loss isn't as bad, that loss might be a little worse now. I feel like they're losing their credibility. Notre Dame is. I feel like it's only going to get worse. They've been battling injuries, so I feel like it's Notre Dame. They may not drop another unranked game, but they're going to continue to struggle with these teams that they play.
Well, I don't think really necessarily Texas A&M is going to. Texas A&M is going to do what they do. Like they've been average with freaking Jimbo. They've been going to be average now. Like I don't really see much more. Texas A&M is always that sleeper team. They can show up that week.
We're going to talk about them in just a minute.
The fans that week. So. And I think that's that type of team that they are. I get an SEC, but that's the reason why I tell everybody. Not everybody in the SEC is like in the top tier caliber. Like, yes, respect the conference, but I don't always deem it sometimes as the overall best conference. In cases like A&M or like Florida, or
I wouldn't put Florida on the same. I wouldn't put A&M on Florida level yet. But it's funny enough, they're playing each other this week, so we're going to see where you stand on that one. I know where I'm riding, and you know very well. I've been very clear on where I'm riding. Like I don't think that's even a conversation. Last little tidbits: Clemson bounced back against App State. Klubnik all of a sudden looks like a god. And then Oregon's still struggling. Only won by 3 against Boise State. But Boise State is a good group of five school. But still, Oregon, you got all the money. You got the brand. You got the recruits. I don't know, man. It's the fix is in. I don't know. I'm not feeling too hot about them anymore. So let's get into these college football week 3 picks. Go ahead.
Well, let me ask you this. What are your thoughts about the Colorado and Nebraska game?
Yes, my bad. I skipped over that. I actually was the only person to pick Nebraska to cover on this show last week. And I can't brag too much because I still had the worst record. I was 4-7. Jackson came in at 5-6, and Kobe at 7-4. So I can't toot my horn too much, but I did get that one right. Raiola looks pretty good. Wow, I don't know. I mean, we knew that was going to happen, right? That's why we wanted him at Georgia. But Colorado, oh my God, even Shadur didn't look that good, right? I mean, he had some really ugly plays, and he was a guy we were starting to really gas up too. I mean, Shadur 23 for 38, 244 yards, a touchdown and an interception. It's going to be rough. It's only going to continue. I don't know, man. I don't know. Dion might need to find a way out here at some point. Raiola, I mean, the stats aren't going to back it up necessarily. I mean, he's 23 for 30. That's still pretty good. 185 and a touchdown. I know it's not astronomical by any means, but he's managing the game well. And if you can just play defense well enough behind that, that's all you really need. It's just like, I'm not going to, compare him to like Brady or anything like that. But I mean, maybe more like Jared Goff. He's got a good defense on the other side of the ball. They can run it a little bit. He just has to manage the game. That's how I kind of see it.
I'm this because I've seen a lot of people talk about like Nebraska, the rest of their schedule. They say if Nebraska, they got past one of their hard. Technically, some people thought Colorado would be the hard game, but
Oh my God.
Most people think Nebraska's going to end up in at the Ohio State game on October 26th, undefeated. Both teams undefeated,
We'll
and
find
I
out.
think Nebraska might get by Ohio State. Got a long way to go.
No, they're not beating Ohio State.
I don't see it either.
No, and that's at Ohio State. That's not happening. Illinois will be a little tough. They are actually coming off a big win. Purdue will be a little tough. Rutgers will even be a little tough. I can't say much about Indiana. I don't know about them. USC might just boat race them. And if they can play enough defense, they'll be fine. We'll have to see about Wisconsin's going to tell me a lot this week against Alabama. We're going to learn a lot about Wisconsin this week. And then they got Iowa. But there's a good chance they can end this season off pretty good.
Okay, that's gonna be good. I'm excited.
We'll see, but I will not pick them against Ohio State. I'll tell you that much. So, yeah, let's get into these picks. Not a whole lot of time left, so let's get into these picks. Number 20, Arizona is going on the road against number 14, Kansas State. Kansas State is a 7.5-point favorite here. Torrez, who you got?
Kansas State is a 7-point favorite. 7.5-point favorite.
I got it 7. Well, yeah, 7 point. Depends on where you look. 7 point, 7.5 point.
Okay. So we'll go with what you got. 7 points.
Hit it with a 7.5. Yeah, that's what we got in our pick'em. That's where I got it from. Was from Keever. So hit me with it.
Man, that's going to be actually really interesting. I think that's going to be a tight game, but I actually went with Arizona in this one. On the fact that I think they at least covered the spread. I'm not picking them to win the game, but I don't think 7.5 is, obviously that's a touchdown and a little bit more, but I think Kansas State probably win by 3, probably by 4.
Okay. Yeah, I will take the other side of the coin. I'll take Kansas State. Arizona's coming off of just a 12-point margin of victory against Northern Arizona, 22-10. Kansas State, I know they had a tough battle this last week, but I do think they have the defense that can get some stops, and I think they're going to be able to run the ball against Arizona. I think they'll be able to run it with Giddens. So I feel pretty good if they can manage the clock and they can play enough defense. I think they can actually get at least a 10-point victory here. That's what I think. So moving on, Arkansas State traveling to number 17 Michigan, the struggling number 17 Michigan. Michigan is a 22.5-point favorite here. Obviously, we know where things stand as far as Michigan coming off the loss to Texas. Like I said, I was wrong. But Arkansas is coming in at 2-0 here with wins against Tulsa and Central Arkansas. Now, both were tight margins of victory. They only beat Central Arkansas by 3. They only beat Tulsa by 4. I smell a rebound coming, but I don't. 22 is such a weird number, man. Like, I don't know. It's just such an oddball number. And oh my God, I hate to be wrong again here, but I don't know if I can trust Michigan's offense. I really don't. And the defense even didn't look that great, but this is Arkansas State. I wish this line was lower. Like, I wish it was 20.5 or something.
Who's the head coach of Arkansas State? Isn't it
Who is it?
Is it the former Tennessee coach?
Ark State. Butch Jones? Is it Butch Jones?
Yeah.
Here we go. Butch Jones, yep.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Old Butch.
Old buddy, Old Butch.
Look.
I'll let you pick first. I'm struggling with this one.
Because, all right, let's go back to Fresno State. Now, granted, I don't think Arkansas State is better than Fresno State. But,
I don't think so either.
Home, they struggled. And that was only 20-10. I mean, it was 30.
Yeah,
It was a 20-point win.
I'm taking Arkansas State. I think the struggles continue. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, I see Michigan winning like by 17. Yeah, give me Michigan.
Yeah.
They just really good defense. And just, give Michigan. Give Michigan.
You want Michigan to cover the 22.5?
No, I'm sorry. Give me.
You taking Ark State? All right, Arkansas State, Ark State. Okay. All right, Notre Dame, number 18 Notre Dame, 10.5-point favorite going against Purdue on the road at Purdue. Who you got here?
So after seeing obviously what Notre Dame did last week, That was not good. That was a little bit disappointing. I definitely thought Notre Dame is definitely better than that. And Notre Dame didn't drop much. They were ranked, but they at number 18.
Yeah.
I actually think they go on the road to beat Purdue. I think it's like, okay, we're going to show y'all. Yes, that wasn't the best us, but we can come back and we can rebound big time. Purdue is no slouch, but Purdue is only have one game. Purdue did beat Indiana State. Purdue understands the objective of what they got coming in. They're like, man, we got Notre Dame coming in, coming off a loss. One of the most dangerous teams you can play sometimes is a team that come off a loss. So I think Notre Dame, they handle business, and I think they cover the spread.
This is at Purdue. Purdue's only played one game this year so far. They won 49-0 against Indiana State. I'm going to take the underdog again. Give me Purdue with the 10.5. I think this is a close one. I think it's going to be a close one. And you got Notre Dame covering the 10.5. All right. Number 13, Oklahoma State is a 20.5 point favorite here against Tulsa, at Tulsa. Obviously a tight game this past week. Oklahoma State was in. Let's see. Tulsa up to this point, though, what have they done exactly, though? So let's look at this real quick.
One thing, they play Arkansas State.
Arkansas State
We know that
lost by 4. Oof.
They're not doing much. Oklahoma State's on the run. What's the spread?
Yeah, it's 20.5. Yeah, I'll go Oklahoma State as well.
Because look,
Oklahoma
State is good. I think Arkansas is a solid team. I don't think they're not amongst the best in the country, but I think Arkansas is actually a little solid team.
They can play you hard from time to time. Yeah,
play you hard. And they had that game at home and they dropped 39 on them. I don't think this defense, Tulsa defense, is on the level of Arkansas. So give me Oklahoma State.
Yeah. All right. So we're moving on to number 9, Oregon. They are 16-point favorite going against Oregon State, and I'm feeling this, man. I really am. Funny thing about this Oregon State team. That year that Rome played Warner Robins in the state championship game where it got snowed out at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and we went to go, my dad and I and a couple of, I think Tracy went with us. We went and watched. You were there too. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, when we went and watched him. Do you remember the name of the running back for Rome that year? Because he plays for him.
He was good. He ran
Jamias Griffin, man. Jamias Griffin, and he is the lead running back for Oregon State.
Wow.
He's been doing pretty hot. Hold on.
Wait a minute, Tom. Wait a minute.
He's still playing.
That was in what, 2018?
Yeah. Look at this. So he went to Georgia Tech in 2019, played there. He was there for 3 seasons, went to Oregon State, then went to then he went to Ole Miss. Then back to Oregon State.
Wow.
This sucker's, he's been in the league for a minute. He's been playing for a minute over here. And he's playing pretty good right now. Remember, he was brothers with one of the linemen, the defensive linemen, when they had 4 stud defensive linemen on that team. Jaquan Griffin, I think was his name, or something like that. And he ended up going to Georgia Tech too. But needless to say, I think Oregon State keeps this one within this 16 points. Give me Oregon State with the 16. If Oregon can't cover the first 2 games, I don't think they're going to cover this one away. Give me Oregon State easily. Lock it up.
Say it again. All right, I'm sorry.
Give me Oregon State easily. I'll lock that one in.
Yeah, you said Oregon, if they couldn't cover, obviously, against who they played last week.
It was Boise State. And then they couldn't cover week 1 against Idaho either.
I agree, man. It makes you wonder. And going on the road to get ready to play a team like Oregon State, 16? Y'all really got that much belief? Like,
I don't.
Dang, I want to know what Vegas. Look, Vegas ain't wrong much now. What do Vegas think? What are they thinking in this game? Because 16.
I got 16.
Man. Hey, all right. So looking at the numbers right now, Oregon State, they struggle with Idaho State. That's right.
Yeah.
And then they only beat San Diego State 21-0. And That means that offense isn't as potent as you would think. They scored 7 in the first quarter. They scored a touchdown in the first quarter, and they didn't score no more for the rest of the game until the fourth. They scored 14 in the fourth. Oregon State backup quarterback came in a few touchdowns. So I don't know. Maybe it's like a quarterback situation with Oregon State that probably gives them this type of spread. I'm going to go Oregon. I think they cover. I'm not as confident in that, but I'm going to go for them to cover. There's a reason.
All right.
There's a reason why Vegas got it that way.
I think. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's closer than it could be, and that's due to the circumstances that have been happening. So you're not wrong. All right. Next, we got Tulane going against number 15 Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a 15-point favorite here. Who you got in this one?
Oh man, that's going to be a solid one. But man, Oklahoma has actually been a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, they have. I wasn't hot on them anyways. You know, I was just mediocre on them.
Yeah, we knew Oklahoma wouldn't be all that keen anyway. Oklahoma struggled last week against who had played Houston. Only beat them 16-12. Playing a Tulane team, yeah, Tulane is 1-1, but Tulane did have a tight game, which is a team we already covered. Kansas State. Going to Oklahoma is definitely going to be a problem, but hopefully Oklahoma at home has a much better performance than what they had against Houston. I actually think they take that game as a little bit on notice, and they have a much better performance. I think Oklahoma covers. Look,
yeah,
because they get the team they got coming in Oklahoma next week. They better be on all cylinders to make sure they come in healthy. Because Tennessee coming in next week. And the Tennessee
they ain't playing with them.
Ooh, my Lord.
They're not playing with them. I'll tell you that much.
Yes, they're playing with them.
So let me see here. I'm trying to check some stuff on this upcoming matchup, but I have a feeling Tulane really emptied the tank against Kansas State this past week. I mean, obviously Oklahoma had to as well, but I think Oklahoma playing at home will make a bit of a difference here. 15 is a weird number. I wish it was something like 13.5.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll take Oklahoma here. So both of us got Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Let's do it.
All right. So that will lead us to Alabama. Number 4 Alabama is a 15.5-point favorite going against Wisconsin. This will be at Wisconsin. So Torrez, does that alter your opinion at all?
15.5 is a mighty high in my opinion.
Yeah.
Wisconsin obviously haven't looked the best themselves. Wisconsin is, they struggle with South Dakota. Granted, South Dakota is not a bad FCS team, but still, at home. Then they struggle with Western Michigan. Got number 4 ranked team coming to town. Granted, we know how teams step up and play when these certain teams come into the place. And then you ask yourself the question. I know, and look, we can't play football map. It's very similar to MMA. You can't play MMA map. You can't go, oh man, because this guy beat this and they struggle with this, that's going to happen. It's all about matchups. Alabama, they're struggling with USF, but they struggled with USF last year. So,
yeah.
I'm still not too sold on Alabama that much personally, but I got Alabama beating Wisconsin.
Okay. And do you have them covering the 15.5?
Yes, I got them covering the spread. Yes.
All right, same here. You ain't got to tell me twice. Like you said, that's exactly what I was going to get into is just because they struggled last week doesn't mean they're going to struggle this week, so give me Alabama. All right, unranked A&M. Go ahead.
Also, this is a huge game for Alabama because this is the last time we're going to see Alabama until
Georgia. Yeah.
Huge. They're gonna have 2 weeks to prepare for Georgia, so this is gonna be good for them. Let's see.
Yeah.
So we will have 2 weeks.
Yeah, same thing, and we'll get into that one here in a little bit. Unranked Texas A&M coming in to Gainesville as a 4-point favorite against Florida. I don't have to even tell you. I'm not doing any research. I'm not. You know where I am. A&M easily. Bang it. Lock. That's it.
Hey, I enjoyed that SEC breakdown so much because It was like any game that was said with the name Florida in it. Oh, they lose. They lose.
Yeah, yeah.
You were like, I
Not
don't know them.
Sanford, not Sanford.
You
Sanford
gave
and
them.
Mississippi State.
You
Sanford
did
and
give
Mississippi
us.
State.
You give us Sanford, Mississippi State. Man,
Yeah,
I don't even know about Mississippi State. You know, like
they didn't even look good either. Their defense looked awful.
I,
Ugh.
I know. But looking at Florida, I definitely think they lose this game. You know, I'm not so much on Florida at all. Florida ain't nothing really to be too hyped about. A&M should get this one done. I actually think it will be close. Don't get me wrong. I think it will be a little bit close, but I still think Florida gets the job done.
Okay, so Florida with the 4.
I'm sorry, I said that wrong. I still think Texas A&M will get the job. Yeah, Texas A&M
Okay,
will still get a job. I think the game will be close because of them being in Gainesville a little bit,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I don't think Texas A&M offers all that great, but I think
no.
they did.
It'll be enough to get it done. All right, I'll let you lead this one off. Number 16 LSU is a 7-point favorite going against South Carolina at South Carolina. What you got for me?
Man, South Carolina surprised a lot of people this past week.
Yeah,
Going in Kentucky and putting the absolute beat down on them boys. I was surprised myself. I did not think the spread was a lot closer. I did not expect to see that from a team like South Carolina, but South Carolina's another team look like we're going to be on the watch for, man. South Carolina's not a team that we can sleep on, and got LSU coming into town. Man, that's gonna be a good game. That's gonna be a good game. And that's where college football game day is going to be at this week. Give me South Carolina to cover the spread, but give me LSU to win the game.
yeah. The spread being so close, 7. That's what I'm struggling with here. If it was 6.5, I'd easily take it. The 7 is what's giving me the issue. I think LSU will be able to pass on South Carolina. This isn't Brock Vandegrift throwing the ball. This is Nussmeier. Nussmeier is actually not too bad. They still got Kyron Lacey. They still got Taylor at tight end. The issue is running the ball, and if LSU will have enough defense to stop South Carolina, which I think they can, and that's why I'm going to go LSU to cover. So you got South Carolina with the points, right?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so that'll lead us to the next one.
Also, real quick,
Go ahead.
world that Brock Vandegrift like fall off so bad. He fell off pretty hard, man.
It looks pretty ugly. I mean, we didn't get to see him much at Georgia. From what you could hear, he could scramble pretty well. Wasn't a great passer of the ball, and you saw that a lot. He ended up getting benched in that game. It's pretty ugly. And yeah, that'll lead us into our last one here in just a second. We got one more before our last one where we talk about Kentucky, Georgia, so we can delve on it a little bit more. But yeah, it was pretty ugly, man. Number 24, Boston College, traveling to Missouri. Missouri at number 6, Missouri. Yeah, they're a 16.5-point favorite here. Man, Missouri, with my relationship with Missouri. Missouri was my darling, my the apple of my eye last year. Man, they were the team that I just really fell in love with. I enjoyed watching them. Funny thing about them, man, I know they've only played Murray State and Buffalo. They haven't allowed a single score at all this year, and I don't know if that's a deceiving stat. I don't know what to really think so much as to what this defense will do against a rushing attack that Boston College will pose against them. We'll have to find that part out. I do think they're going to be able to match offensively. I'm going to take the gamble playing at Missouri. I think they're going to be geared up and ready for this. They've handled business up to this point. I think they can cover 3 scores. Give me Missouri minus the 16.5.
I agree with you. I'm taking Missouri. Now, I'm a little close with mainly because my boy Day Day, he's the video editor and highlights guy for Missouri, so that's why I know a little good bit about them. And he's big on them. He said he thinks them boys gonna have a really good season this year. He said that he thinks Missouri is a team to definitely be on the watch for. It helps not having to play Georgia. I mean, looking at their schedule, they got Alabama on the road, and really their toughest. I mean, you really should.
Yeah, it's a pretty great schedule.
It's a really good schedule. I mean,
Yeah.
if they to beat Oklahoma and even maybe that South Carolina game on the road, this is a little bit of a cupcake, and I think they're gonna be a solid team. Don't be surprised to see Missouri maybe only have one loss. Like,
Yeah,
don't be surprised.
it's not gonna be surprising at all. No.
I'm not claiming that, but I wouldn't be surprised that I've got them beating Boston College. This is one of those big ranked games that they have to win, and I think them as a program know that. They know they got three big games.
You
Boston
need to
College,
show out for it.
they're going to definitely handle business. With the other one obviously being Alabama, Oklahoma, they're going to handle business for this one, and I think they cover the spread to put a statement on it.
Yeah.
We might see Missouri start slipping into that top 5 soon.
I think they're in real SEC championship discussion now. I really do think that they're going to be in play for that for sure. So Missouri's still pretty good. They're on the right trajectory, and from the look of it, they're going to stay that way. Last game of the day, and you took Missouri as well. Last game of the day, number 1 Georgia traveling to Lexington to play the Kentucky Wildcats, coming off the big loss to South Carolina that we were just referencing. Georgia's a 24.5-point favorite here. Coming off a great win in college football fantasy, man. I put Beck in over Ewers, and man, it paid off. 5 passing touchdowns was awesome. I love seeing that from the offense this past week. I know it's Tennessee Tech, whatever. We looked pretty good offensively. I think it was awesome. Here's the deal, though. Every time we play Kentucky, for the most part, I know we've had our blowout games before, but it feels like it's always like a tough, at least to get things going wise. We start off kind of slow. The weather is not in our favor here, man. It's going to be raining. I mean, we will be running the ball, but this isn't going to be no high flying attack. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be frank. I'm going to be blunt with it. I'm going to take Kentucky plus the 24. I'm not taking them to win. I got Georgia winning. I just don't know if we're going to be able to cover the 24. Call me crazy. Call me what you want. I just there's some speculation here. I don't know how we, I feel like there might be some slip ups that come up, and I think that the weather will play a part. They will muck this game up. They'll slow the game down. We're going to see all stops pulled after what just happened to them against South Carolina. There's nothing to lose at this point. They're going to make this. They're going to make this thing. It's going to get chippy. And I think that this game is going to get, it's going to, like I said, it's going to get mucked up. Give me Kentucky plus the 24 points.
You're right. This is their Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with you at all in this case. This is their championship game for them. Having a number 1 ranked team come in, anytime the number 1 ranked team comes to your stadium, you show out. People that knows that as like fans or fans of teams, even when we was in high school, every time, before we got good, but every time Northside would come to Jones County, guess what? We had to show out. The number 1 ranked team in 5A is coming to our place. We got to show out. Granted, sometimes, especially my freshman year, we got our butts whooped, but we showed out. I think Kentucky tries to show out. You have a few good little plays here and there early in that first quarter, but Georgia's going to take over once that second quarter hits. Now, will it be enough to put up 24 points? Knowing a guy like Kirby, he loves to run the ball. He'll run the ball to run the clock out, not run the ball to run the score up. So there's 2 different ways you have to look at that, and that's just the way he plays football. And I've seen it multiple times. Heck, we had the number 1 ranked team 2 years ago, Tennessee. We dominated the game. Game was over with. It was like, oh, y'all beat us by 13 or 14 points. We knew that game was even close. We were just running the ball to run the clock out. Georgia was the same. I'm taking Kentucky because of the spread, but yes, Georgia will probably win this game right at 20 or right at 17. Once they get the lead, they're just going to be doing enough to not get hurt, get healthy, because they know what they got coming up next. Now, they ain't gonna be too much risk taking in this one. We gotta get out of this one healthy. We can't go on the road and get hurt and get beat up. We gotta get out of this one healthy, because the one we got in 2 weeks is the one that obviously we know is gonna be really big for Bulldogs fans. So I think they have a business pretty easily, but that first quarter will be a little tough. Second, third, fourth, they have a business.
Yeah. All right, so that concludes the picks. I know you got a busy schedule. You got 3 weeks from now your fight coming up, so we're going to let you get back to it. So thank you guys so much out there for tuning in. Any last things you want to say?
No, man. Thank you for everyone that support. Continue to support, man. Thank y'all. Thank everyone that's supporting the podcast. We love everybody tuning in. We're gonna keep getting this thing on up. Man, it's been a wild journey, but thank you for everyone that supports me and been behind me. So funny that I'm saying is I'm about to fight again in 3 weeks. That is wild to think about. That is so.
Yeah, I looked at the calendar. I was like, man, it's only 3 weeks from now. It's crazy.
6 weeks. That's pretty nuts.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. All right. Well, thank everybody out there for listening. Thank you guys for tuning into the live stream. If you want to support us, you can find this podcast anywhere podcasts are located. If you want to support in other ways, you can also click in the description, go to the link to your link, follow us on our social media channels. We would appreciate it so much. Thank you guys for tuning in. And like as we always say, thank you and see you next time.
Boom, boom.